Actually, I won't. I hate people that tell me what to do. There we go. There we go. Welcome back. Nice to see everybody. How are we? We've got. I'm in the Greater Toronto area, Toronto, and it is like freezing snow, pellets, Armageddon outside. This is the first snow that we've had in a long time, and I hate to start with a weather update, but it's fairly serious here. And they canceled school this morning. Canceled school for everybody. How much snow are we getting? Lock.
Weather and tropical in the tens.
This is a difference between Western Canada and Eastern Canada. If we get snow, in the neighborhood of 5 centimeters, it's like, guys, we can't open up schools today. We just can't do it. We're not doing it. And when you're a kid, like I was growing up out west, and you come out east, you know what happens is you come here and it's like, wait a second, why are they fucking canceling school? It's like, well, we're getting snow. And I'm like, they never do this. Like, you need to have an apocalyptic snow in Western Canada for kids to not actually go to school in Western Canada. They do they'll take they've got ice field machines that they'll take kids to school in. Parents are like, nah, I got a farm and I got to work, so you got to go. It's unbelievable how soft we are here. So anyway, 5 to 10 centimeters, which is nothing. It's like 2 inches, 2 to 6 inches of snow, and they're like, well, we can't have the kids go to school in this.
They canceled the buses before it even started raining this morning because they said, it might freeze later, so we're going to cancel the buses.
I know.
So, okay.
I know. We're soft. And you know
we
what?
Need
really
4 feet of snow.
No, we don't.
To cancel
buses here. Dude, there you do. Yeah.
Over all at once. You guys are going to get hammered, eh?
Well, for us, I guess, hammered.
Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario are getting a 84-hour storm. And it starts tomorrow. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're missing it. You might be Toronto may escape it a little bit, but it's going to fire through those 3 provinces. So it's supposed to dump a bunch of snow, and you guys are in for it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. No, it just proves how soft we are out here, dude. Honest to God. Like, if we get that kind, we call in the army for more than 2 feet. It's like, get over here.
I was Mel Lastman, one guy.
That's true. Anyway, lots to get to today. We got Donald Trump stuff to get to. We've got an update on porn searches. We'll do that a little later on in the program as well, which is interesting. And as we motor towards New Year's Eve, my ticket is booked. I get there at noon on the 28th, Lock. You got to pick me up at the airport. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. That is where I'm going on the 28th of this month. I'm very excited to go to that province. I haven't been there for a long time. I love the people of Alberta. And you know what's bringing us together? Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Real music. Real rock and roll. Be. The reimagination of one of my favorite bands is bringing us together. Now, what does that mean? That means Big Sugar is playing River Cree Casino, and the lead singer of that band joins us for the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show, Gordie Johnson, Big Sugar. Yes?
Read them and weep, fellas.
17 degrees, sunny.
I switched it to Celsius for y'all because
Thanks. I
really
appreciate it.
Like that.
Well, it must be cold because you got a sweater on.
Yeah,
it looks nicer in Fahrenheit.
63 is like perfect. It's a perfect temperature. 65 is the perfect temperature. Is it like that all the time in Dripping Springs? By the way,
no. Sometimes it's hot as a bastard.
Is it really? Does it get smoking hot in the summer?
No, you know how it is in Alberta, some of y'all, when it's 40 below zero and you have to run from the house to the vehicle, and you better have started your vehicle so that it warms up.
Yeah,
it's the same thing here. Only in August, you run from the house to the car, so you're not burnt from the surface of the sun. And you better have the AC running. Oh, you burn the skin off your legs.
Wow.
And it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's like that area of the world gets like oppressively hot, right? Never gets too cold. But the problem is that it's like I've got friends that live in Dallas, just outside of Dallas. Actually, no, is Tapatio, which I think is outside of San Antonio, Tapatio Springs. And I've got friends that live in Arizona. It's like my buddy Jeremy lives in Arizona. He goes, no one goes outside in August. Nobody goes outside in August. Nobody. It's like, yeah. And he's like, heat down there is what the cold is up here, which brings me to your sweater, which Lachlan kindly pointed out to start. Very reminiscent of one of my favorite movies of all time, as a matter of fact.
See,
This is the Lebowski sweater.
That is the Lebowski sweater.
So that's what you call me.
The dude?
It's the dude.
Or his dudeness, or El Duderino, if you're not
El Duderino, the dude.
Celebrity thing.
How do you get your hands on the dude's sweater? I have been looking for the dude's sweater and pajama pants for 15 years. No word of a lie.
No, my family got this for me for Christmas a few years ago, and I've almost never taken it off.
It does look comfy.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good sweater.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting?
I have at some points in my life embodied all of the characters in the movie. I used to be more like Walter. I like to think now I'm more like the dude.
You were a little Walter. Were you a little aggressive back in the day?
I had some anger
little trigger happy
issues. Not some anger management issues.
That's awesome.
Are you as big a Lebowski? Like, did they get that sweater for you because you're a big Lebowski fan? Because like I'm a huge, like when he did that Super Bowl commercial last year, I made a point of watching it because it was like a trip down memory lane for me because I loved the movie that much.
We were early adopters to the whole Lebowski thing. We got it went right from movie theaters. I'm not even sure it was in the movie theaters for a week. It kind of flopped when it came out. Little cinematic history lesson for y'all. It flopped really early on because I don't know. It's just okay. It was just all right.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a great movie. It's just okay. So we got it like $2 on VHS in a parking lot of a Blockbuster somewhere on tour. The bus pulled over, and we just bought cheap movies to watch in the bus. Some of us watched it, some didn't. How was it? It was just okay. So we watched it again. The guys who'd seen it once were laughing. The other guys weren't laughing. So we watched it again. Now everyone's laughing. Only the guys who watched it the first time are really laughing. By about the 16th time you watch it, it is the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. And that's the magic of Christmas. That's the magic of Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Okay, it really is. It's one of those movies that you watch. It's like so good, but you didn't realize how good it was the first time you watched it, and then you watch it a few more times. And as a fan of cannabis too, it's one of those movies where you're like, you know what? Tonight's the night where I'm going to smoke 4 bowls and I'm going to watch The Big Lebowski and I'm going to laugh till I wet my pants. Gordie.
I didn't personally do this, but I have been in a tour bus full of people who decided to watch the movie Dude style. Whatever the dude does in the movie, like if he does a J, you do a J. If he drinks an oat soda, you drink an oat soda. When he has a Caucasian, you pour yourself a Caucasian.
Oh my God.
That could get shitty.
Wrecked.
That could get shitty.
Okay, you're locked in a tour bus for the next 17 hours with those people. Yeah, no.
God.
Not good.
Yeah, I guess not.
Here's the problem I have with The Big Lebowski, and I'm glad you explained it the way you did, because you're one of the first people that's ever explained this movie to me where you were realistic about the quality of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I never said it was a bad film. I never said it wasn't funny. I never said what I did say to people when they made me watch it was I came back and went, no, that is not the greatest movie of all times. It's not the funniest movie ever made. It just isn't. So thank you for explaining it like that, because every time I got like hoodwinked into going back and watching it again, I just got angrier because it was the Deans of the world going, it's the greatest movie I've ever seen.
It is.
And
83% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a great movie.
Okay, sure. It's not the best comedy ever fucking made. That's the thing that I keep telling people. You're allowed to like it. It's not the greatest movie ever made.
Lockett's an investment.
Thank you.
It requires the viewer to have a time investment. You have to watch it at least 4 times before it's even funny.
Okay, I'm 2 in, and I was ready to fight people. So I'll make it back to it from this perspective.
We'll check in again after Locke's watched it 4 or 5 more times after the holidays, maybe.
think I'm going to get into weed too.
He'll get it. You should. He'll get dude. You should. Just for your own health, you should. Just for the fun of it, you should. But he gets like this, Gordie. He gets like this, where he's like, someone will go, "I love this movie," and he won't like it, even though like liking things is a wholly subjective deal. And he'll be like, "You're wrong," and I'm like, "Well, no, I just really like the movie." And he's like, "No." But to your point, Lachlan, you haven't wasted enough time. You haven't invested enough time in watching this movie. There's a part in that movie where he's got the guy comes in, he puts Jeff Bridges' head in the toilet, and he's like, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" And I didn't recognize how funny that was the first 34 times. The last time when he pulls his head out of the toilet, he goes, "I don't know, it might be down there. I'll keep looking." I started pissing my pants laughing.
Now I'm kind of sorry I wore the sweater this morning.
No, I love it. I love it.
When I put it on, it was just a sweater, and now
it's a piece. Hey, listen, you're doing the tour. Let's get to the tour with Big Sugar. It's been a few years. Obviously, and reimagining the band and knowing why. Obviously, the passing of Gary and his son Ben is coming on to play with you guys. I'm really excited to come there and see this. And it's the way that your band has meant so much to so many people. Whether you've seen you live, you're a piece of Canadian history. And when I'm reading the piece today and how you're going to be doing this tour, I was like, so because I didn't know you were bringing Gary's son with you. I was floored. I was like, I got emotional almost, and I just think it's a wonderful thing.
There's no way to manufacture that feeling. We get that little rush before going on stage every night. I look around the dressing room, and there's Gary's kid, who I've known since he was born. Like, I've held him as a baby, and now he's a big dude. He's a big man, and he earned his spot in Big Sugar. He's a really great bass player and a great singer, and that music is part of his legacy too. Just given that it's his dad's music.
So fucking cool. It's
amazing. And we needed a drummer. We kind of early on decided, let's go back to Big Sugar power trio, like Ride Like Hell era power trio. We get to play a lot more guitar.
I am a ram. It's
super fun. And Ben brought along his homie from Winnipeg. Ben lives in Winnipeg. I'm from Winnipeg originally, if you didn't know. Yep. So he brought on his buddy from Winnipeg. He's like, "You got to give my boy Root a try." The kid's name is Root. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, his name is Root. That gets you an audition. And I was like, I don't care how you can play. I just want to hear the audience go Root, 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 Root every night, which they do. So I was a bit skeptical, honestly. I was like, he's 21 years old. I'm like, how can he possibly know what Big Sugar is? His dad's a reggae drummer. Like, oh, okay. Well, he must know a little bit of something about something. So all his people know a bit about Big Sugar. He came into the audition, and about 5 minutes, and after about 5 minutes, I just went, okay, let's cancel all the auditions. This is just now a rehearsal. Let's just go.
We go home.
That's awesome. We played for about 12 hours the first day, 12 hours the next day, and it just got better and better and better. And now on stage, man, it's pretty explosive, because he's got young dude energy. It's funny because Root Valak is the first call drummer in Winnipeg if you're a metal band. I just thought he's like, wow, this kid's got all this musical knowledge. How? So early, so young. He's such a well-rounded musician. Like, so Ben says you play in a lot of bands. He goes, yeah, like sometimes like 4 bands in the same night. I'm like, wow, that's great. No wonder you're so versatile. He's like, yeah, pretty versatile. Like I played just, like metal, death metal, grindcore, speed metal. Like, oh, so all the kinds of music.
All the kinds of metal.
So but you haven't done stoner metal, dude.
Is that grunge? Stoner metal, is that grunge? Is that what we call it?
Yeah. Oh, black. I mean, no, Norwegian black metal. Oh, Swedish black metal. Okay, cool. So I have no idea why he's qualified to be in Big Sugar, but
yeah,
wow, he brings that intensity and level and concentration. and it really works. It really works.
A lot of people don't know that, but that the underlying tone of Big Sugar always had there's blues there. I think that's obvious. I mean, everybody knows that, but that reggae thing was that sort of that funk rhythm. You had it, and it really came through and shone through in that Heated record, which is we should get you to talk a little bit about the structure of the show on New Year's Eve in case anybody's lucky enough to make it out here to see it.
River Cree Casino, by the way. If you go to rivercreecasino.com, you can get your tickets there. Big Sugar tickets starting at $39.99 December 31st. I'll be there 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. It'll probably go later, and it is going to be loud. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
It might be loud.
Yeah, it will be fucking loud.
River Cree. Now, of course, it's been a couple of years since we played anywhere, but we did play there the last time we played it. It's a fantastic venue. If you haven't seen the show there, we really love playing there. So it's fitting to be in Edmonton with family, New Year's Eve. This entire tour, we've been going without an opening act because, let's face it, there's a lot of material to cover on a Big Sugar gig. We do the entire first set. We do the Heated album, all the songs. Bunch of songs we've never played on tour ever are now sounding amazing, and it's our first time playing them. Well, for me and my dudes, right? So there's a lot of intensity there playing the entire record. Then we take a little break, give everybody a chance to do something nice, get a White Russian and
a Caucasian
or an oat soda or what have you, cannabis products and such. And then we come back and play all the hits and a bunch of other jams and stuff from other vinyl reissues we've put out over COVID. There's a bunch of bonus material. We play a Stone song, we play a Beatles song, we throw a bunch of other stuff in there that we were fooling around with over COVID. So it turns into quite an impressive evening with Big Sugar. So
awesome.
I can't wait.
That record Heated. I'm trying to remember. The Scene was the first single, right?
Yes.
And then you followed it up. I think you followed it up with Better Get Used to It. But then the hit off that was Turn the Lights On, right?
Turn the Lights On was the fourth single.
Was it 4 Deep? So
you
must have
convince
one of my favorite songs of all time.
Same.
Really?
You're
fine because it was
me.
different, because it was like it was a slower jam compared to Digging a Hole or some of your other stuff. Is that why?
Oh, alternative radio won't play it. Rock radio won't play it. Nobody will play it. Reggae's not a thing. Why? We don't think it's not. Well, we had a #1 single with On the Scene. We had a top 5 single with Digging a Hole. Everybody wanted like another one of those. I'm like, guys, trust me. I mean, look, we're 4 singles in. What's the worst thing that could happen?
It exploded, that record.
Absolutely.
I knew it wasn't a front single, but I didn't realize it was 4 Deep. Did you ever release 100 Cigarettes?
No, Girl Watcher was a single.
Girl Watcher was the third. Okay, all right, cool.
That 100 Cigarettes. We haven't played in 20. We haven't played Girl Watcher in 20 years, probably.
Wow.
It never came up in conversation. And then we're playing it on this tour, and it's fantastic.
You forget. So here's a question I would have for you, right? It's been a few years. Have you had to go back and go, what were those lyrics again? Like, have you had to, do you go back and do it? Yeah, you're giving me the slide. Look, do you go back and go, fuck, what comes after this? What's the chorus? What's the verse? Like, is that part of the rehearsal thing for you?
I didn't have to do a lot of studying of lyrics because we wrote them. It's
they're there.
There's a bit of muscle memory there that happens. So as soon as I was shocked actually. As soon as I put my hands to the Big Sugar guitars in those tunings, started playing, and you've got this little engine behind you, the bass and drums, who've just learned it fresh, and so they know every tiny detail of it because they've just practiced really hard to learn it. They start playing that, and suddenly it triggered something in me where I was like, oh right, I remember how to play the bridge to this song, or suddenly remembered lyrics I was going to have to look up. And it's pretty shocking actually that it just came flooding back like that.
So what's the impetus for, because after Gary passed, and condolences. I know that's not something we've talked about, but truly, after Gary passed, I was like, as a Big Sugar fan, you wonder, is the band going to continue? But when, in that 4-year period, what was the impetus for you to go, you know what, we can do this? Like what were the things that happened where you're like, we want to do this, and now you're going on tour?
Well, the calendar pages have flipped enough times that Universal Music put out a 25th anniversary of Hemivision, the record with Digging a Hole on it, If I Have My Way, some of those songs. We did a 25th anniversary vinyl reissue. That came out over COVID. Did really well in spite of it's COVID, So they decided to do the same thing with Heated, which is the next record that came out. So once we started putting together a vinyl reissue of Heated, it made sense to go out and promote it. But you can't just take a bunch of guys with you. I didn't want to just job it out to just hire some guys and play the hits. I mean, we've never done that. Big Sugar, the only reason we ever come out is if we've reinvented ourselves and had a really legitimate reason to breathe life into this stuff. It's got to be a living, breathing thing. It's not strictly nostalgia. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
totally. Some bands, that's what you want, I think. Some bands, you want to pay the ticket and go see exactly what you remember from when you were 21. Whatever.
You're not Loverboy.
And not a diss. No, we're not Loverboy. No. But for Big Sugar, we took a long hiatus, almost 10 years there in the early 2000s because we took the time off. When we came back around 2010, 2011, that's because we reimagined the band. We put some new people in there along with the old people and figured out new ways to be Big Sugar and had an evolved sound. I feel like after Gary passed, there was a period where we tried different things, played with some different people. It was okay. It was good. We liked it. COVID gave us a chance to really self-examine why we're doing it, how we want to do it, what we want to even do. And to be honest, I didn't even want to do it. I was like, I don't feel like just throwing something out there to make money. That's not why we ever did this. Let's not start. But then when Gary's son came along and was like, hey, I'm ready. I can do it. Let's do it. Come on, Uncle G. Let's do it. I can play the bass. Let's do it. I can sing. I'm like, okay, hold on. Just slow down there, chummy. And we got together. We got together a bunch of times. I mean, over 2 years, we spent a lot of time together. And there he is. Look at that smiling face. Yeah, he's happy to be holding that bass, wearing his dad's jacket. Amazing cat. He's put in a lot of time and a lot of personal growth getting to this point. And I love the fact that he brought the drummer to the party. It's like it just made it a thing. There's Great 3 story. Winnipeg guys. We got there's this little thread in common. Yeah. So we did all the tour prep, all the rehearsals and everything happened in Winnipeg. I flew to Winnipeg in the snow.
Oh, poor baby.
Put on my sweater.
Springs.
Poor Gordie. Yeah.
I know you feel my pain.
Yeah, we do.
So, so there's, for us personally, there's this emotional thread through the story that that makes walking on stage every night. That music's a real living, breathing thing. This is not just retro, play the hits and get the check and go home. It's pretty vital feeling.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's such a great story. Is it your partner's kid comes up to you, he's like, I'm ready to do this, and you're like, let's see, and he blows the doors off, and he's like, and I got a drummer, and you're like, oh, okay. You're like, maybe you do. Maybe this is a band again. But is it different? You know how you're a kid and you play a wicked game of tag one night and it's so much fun, and then you come back the next day and you try and relive it and it's not the same. Is it I know it's not the same, and you like to reimagine what you're doing, and you've had 4 years to do it. But did you get that feeling again? Like, was it the feeling when you're like, man? And what is that feeling now compared to 10 years ago? Is it different? Is it one of those that was it comforting for you where you're like, yeah, I can do this?
Does your knee hurt?
I told my guys, there was a time, back when you look at all the pictures from Heated, I used to be so hip it hurt. And now my hip hurts. That's it.
The maracas are Motrin bottles now.
I need a new hip. I don't know. Luckily,
that's a guitar thing, eh? Guitar player thing.
It's a stomping around the stage, hot leaping about, playing rock and roll. Of course, you don't feel it when you're doing it. It's
adrenaline.
It's that ride to the next city where you go, something feels a little off.
Shit.
But it is funny though that I've got 2 20-something guys in my band, and I know Root being a heavy metal guy and a heavy metal guy, he's really good at it. All of his homies in Winnipeg were like, "Oh, that's kind of weird for you playing like stuff that's kind of mellow."
Was that offensive to you?
Yeah. At the end of 8 hours of rehearsal, I said, "Okay, now I can remember back in '96 we played it like this, but then it evolved into this. And what I'd like to do with us is if we start with the drums this time," and I turned around, looked at me, and I see 2 guys going,
I'm so tired.
I was like, "I'm sorry. How was that mellow music affecting you? How was that mellow Big Sugar experience going, fellas?" At the end of 3 hours, I'm like, "Okay, now let's play Ride Like Hell." And they're going,
"Can we get a drink?"
Okay. I told the audience in Toronto, we've never done that before on a Big Sugar show, taking a break, like play for an hour and play for 70 minutes, take a break, and then come and play another 70 minutes. I say, we're going to take a break now because, after all these years, it's on account of age. See, I got 2 kids playing with me. I got to get them a granola bar and a yogurt tube. And everyone brought a towel. They can have a nap. And then we can
get back at it.
Yeah, that'd be weird. It's just, is it in your change room, your dressing room with these guys? Do you give them their own room so they can do their stuff so you can zen out before you get into a show?
No, I like to be a positive influence, and we don't have any there's no star room and crew room. Like I said, Big Sugar we don't do that. It's everybody. Basically, everybody who sweats through their underwear gets a sip of champagne at the end of the night. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care if you ran cables, you swept the stage, you did the lights, you tuned the guitars. Everybody works really hard, drives long hours. So we really have a communal thing with Big Sugar. When we can, sometimes we have what's called a crying room backstage, which is just one quiet space where if you need to warm up your voice, you need to phone home, the crying room, just a little quiet.
Have a cry. Yeah.
You can go and have that private moment if you need to take a knee, whatever. Just go over here and do that.
It's funny you bring that up because over the years, both Dean and I have interviewed hundreds of bands, and it's funny. You see, I'm in Edmonton, so you see guys in the middle, like balls deep in the middle of a tour, right? That no one ever starts a tour in Edmonton, so you're going through, and there's a variety, and you can sort of see it on guys, and I know you had your earlier years where you were, banging it out on the road, trying to just make enough money to fill the van for the next trip, right? Like it's interesting to see the impact of the road on these musicians, and a lot of them kids, and a lot of them, they can't do life without it, but you see the impact on them. Like there was a couple of bands would come through over the years, and you want to take them for a meal or, offer them a place to stay for the night. You guys good?
You guys run the Ferris wheel when you're not?
Have you had a shower this week? Like you see the impact of the road, but that they're not They're fucking never doing anything else. Like this is them. This is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Well, we try to, like I said, I try to lead by example. So we tried to lead a pretty civilized existence out there. When it's rock o'clock, it can be complete mayhem. Out on the stage you go, bring it to the stage. I don't need to see that in the dressing room post show, prior to the show, all the hijinks that goes on the road. My young band on about the third show very innocently said, hey, can we ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, sure. Is there going to be beer?
Seriously?
Because there hadn't been any.
No.
Up until that point, there hadn't been any beer. And I said, oh, yeah, I think the promoter's bringing some beer upstairs for the crew after the show. Yeah, because this is not a frat party. Like, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's 3 hours of music, Big Sugar music. You have to keep up with me. I'm wide awake, caffeinated, sober. I've done my stretches and my vocal warm-up. I'm taking names and kicking asses. What are you doing? If you're hungover and you give me an 85% performance, that's not happening. I don't want to deal with hungover people when what our focus is. That's a pretty taxing gig, and it's a big ask. It's a lot of stuff to remember, and I go freestyling a lot on the stage. Like, the song's a framework for us to invent music, so I'm inventing stuff. I'm doing stuff we didn't do last night. Are you paying attention? Because if you thought you were just powering through that hangover trying to remember what we did, that won't cut it.
Have you always been like that? Have you always been like that? Have you taken it? Like, have you taken that approach? Have you always been? And I don't know if you're sober, but you say that you don't have any beer or drinks, and you don't like working with hungover people. By the way, also don't like hanging around with hungover people or people who are too wasted. I'm in the same boat. But
I'm usually drunk.
Yeah, he probably is half cut right now. But this requires 20% of your effort, so no big deal. But have you always been like that as a touring musician?
I want to see Lachlan Cross in a 20%er t-shirt. Yeah, I give it all of my 20%
on every night.
Every time I walk up to the mic, 20%.
Every night, Gordie.
You're nothing if not consistent.
I think you remember seeing me drinking at the last radio station in Winnipeg, probably too.
I want to rock and roll all night and part of every day, as the saying goes. There's never been any excuse for putting on a shoddy performance. It's all about that performance. The only reason to leave home is for that time on stage. And we always had a policy of have all the fun you want. These are the same rules at the farm, actually, in Alberta, at the ranch. This is where it was good words to live by. When the saddles are and all the tack is hung up and the tools are put away and the horses are in the barn, whatever, sit around the fire, drink whiskey, sing songs, have all the fun you like, smoke what you want, drink what you want. When it's time to put the coveralls on and go back to work, nobody wants to hear you cry. We're not hearing about it. I don't want to hear about someone's hangover. I don't want to hear about it. If it affects your performance on the job, it's cowboy rules.
Yeah.
If you can't be stoic, then don't do it. And I found that there is a level of stoicism that's missing from a younger generation, if I'm honest.
Yes,
so it's not like, I can handle a couple drinks and go on stage and play, but that's not the point. You try to lead by example. So, I might have a sip of wine before the show, just a little tannic, acid on the throat, and that's about it. And that's about it for the night, because it's too hard, man. It's too hard. And I don't want to ruin the enjoyment of the show for the enjoyment of having a few drinks. There's lots of time to have drinks and party in your life. You'll have lots of time to do that. This isn't that.
I find daily. I find usually every day I find time.
Yeah. To have a few. We're good. I got a question. I've always wanted to ask you this question. any musicians in history, you can put together your favorite jam band. Any musician, you're in it, but you got to pick 3-4 other guys. Who would you pick?
Well,
Lachlan on harp. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, what was that awful noise in the intro? I was getting this screeching feedback, this really weird thing when the logo came up and all that. I was like what
the fuck is that? Yeah,
it's the wrong key. I was in the wrong key, Gordie.
There's something wrong.
He was in the wrong city.
What's that awful sound? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's this thing's on. Okay. What was the question?
The question was your jam band. Like, you know how people say, okay, you get a dinner party. Anybody in history, who would you bring to the dinner party? Dinner party, a jam. Like, who would you bring? Anybody. Don't say Jesus Christ or Donald Trump, though.
No.
I bet you I can guess your drummer.
Those two words usually go together when talking about one. I love Sly and Robbie, Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare, the reggae rhythm section. I played with Peter Tosh and a million other people. Sly and Robbie were my heroes when I was a kid, when I was a bass player. Love those guys. So Sly and Robbie should come to the party. Sadly, Robbie Shakespeare passed away. But I would have had my dream band, Sly and Robbie. I have spent a lot of time over the years with Billy Gibbons, and he never ceases to amaze me. I could just watch the guy barely play a guitar any day of the year. Something about the way he touches it. It's so unscripted and unself-conscious. He just oozes authenticity. There's something in the guys playing, and it's just pure strain Texas guitar playing too. So
his birthday tomorrow.
Pretty inspiring. Gibbons' birthday tomorrow.
Yep, 73, I think. 73 or 74.
Wow. I usually get a Thanksgiving. That's American Thanksgiving. I get a Thanksgiving message from Billy Gibbons every year with some, like, have you ever seen that thing on the internet of Jimi Hendrix at Monterey with the burning Stratocaster, but they've put a turkey roasting over it, and Hendrix going, yeah. The first time I saw that was an email from Billy Gibbons that said, "Happy Thanksgivings."
There you go.
Nice.
So,
all right,
guy. I'd have him to the party. All right.
Anybody else? Anybody
Keith
else you
Richards.
want to throw in this thing?
I love Keith's guitar playing. I've learned so much from that guy, watching him play and talking to him and just being around him. And then when you hear the records later, it kind of all makes sense to you. It's like where his playing's kind of mysterious for how simple it is, but not. Try to learn some of Keith's stuff. It's really hard. And for most people, it just sounds like you're copying Keith Richards. But once I've seen him play a bunch of times and seen it up close, and when you talk to the guy, it's like, oh, this all makes sense. Mm-hmm. His approach to rhythm guitar playing is unparalleled, really. I could sit in a room, again, with that guy. Anything he touches. Heck, I'd have Keith as the piano player in the band. Like, his piano playing is the same way. I don't know if he can play the piano. He can just play it enough to be Keith. It still sounds like Keith Richards playing.
Wow.
Yeah, anything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good band.
That's interesting, because I've said that there was always something about his approach, and it's clear that he had his fingers in the writing, right? I mean, it's so obvious. That tune, Happy, like right? what the fuck is that? Like, where did that come from? Right? Like, apparently he was in that room by himself for hours, and then Mick showed up, and Keith was like, "I think I got a tune," and that was where that started.
Yeah, and hard for anyone else to sing it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, if only I knew a good harmonica guy.
Well, fuck, you can't pick me after playing with Kelly. He was insane.
I'm going to tell you something. I'll tell you something, Gordie. Is Lachlan and I, for the past couple weeks, because I booked my ticket to come out there on the 28th, come to see you, and thank you very much for having us, at River Cree Casino on the 31st, New Year's Eve. very excited now that I know that there's an intermission, so I can go out and get high again and then come back in, which will be exciting for me.
Apparently, you won't be alone. You should. I looked at the audience from the stage in Toronto. We played the Phoenix in Toronto. Sold out show, amazing show, and I saw so many people I knew, and I was afraid that they weren't quite seeing me.
That's that room. You can't go into that room sober.
The after show green room is going to be insane. Look at all these people I know. They're all going to come back after the show. They didn't survive. I think after the show, a spouse or whoever they were with were like, "Oh no, dude, you gotta go. You can't go to that." Which is the desired response. We were hoping that people had the time of their life. So,
oh, dude, I had 4 of my friends went to it. I couldn't get there. 4 of my friends went to it, and they're like, "I can't." I think my one buddy Colin, he calls me the next day. He goes, "My ears are still ringing. Like I don't feel well."
Yeah.
I don't feel good, he said. I'm like, I don't feel great. It's too loud. It was too loud. I go, yeah, but was it awesome? He goes, it was. He said, you guys haven't missed a beat.
Okay, first of all, I see some of the comments here. You know what? We're not like back in the day loud. I mean, to be, to be fair, we had stuff to prove. We were really loud. And now it's not like that. I mean, it's only loud enough to put on a rock show. Most of our volume comes from a big, pillowy reggae music bottom end, which is more like, I guess it's like a body stone. You know what I mean? It shouldn't hit you in the face. It's not, we grew up, you know what I mean? It's not like back in the day. You get your money's worth loud. It's proper loud, but it's not like going to see Motorhead. I've been to see Motorhead. We don't sound like Motorhead.
Well, we should also put this into perspective. You're probably half deaf now. So your idea of what loud is might not be what everybody else's idea of loud is, Gordie.
I mix records for a living, Locke. I spend all day making critical decisions with my ears in the studio. So shockingly, I haven't really lost my hearing and my ability to make sonic.
Way to go, Locke.
I think, way to go, Locke. You offended him.
Come on. Are you telling me you stood on that stage with all that gear and wailed away for all those years, and your hearing's still pretty decent?
Here's what I equate it to. Your own sound, the sound you make yourself doesn't really hurt. But if you're in front of somebody else's sound, or an airplane or construction or big trucks on your street, that kind of sound wears away at your hearing. But I feel like music, and scientifically it's been proven that music you like doesn't hurt your ears as bad as music you don't like. And I equate it to, you don't realize, if you've been out in the yard working or playing sports or something, you come back in the house, you don't really realize you need a shower till your wife greets you at the door and goes, "Oof, you shower." Your own smell doesn't bother you somehow.
Yeah. It's kind of like you can't smell your own breath. Same thing. My breath always smells good until someone else smells it. I get that, right? Because you're in front of the music, right? You're not in front of your breath. It's in you. You're not in front of your smell. That's in you. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Locke, way to go. Way to offend Gordie.
Yeah, no kidding.
My smell is in me. I think that's going to be your T-shirt, Dean.
Thank you, buddy.
That could be your new thing.
I just need a shirt for Lynn's.
Thanks, yeah.
I'm just taking it all in.
As you should.
Dean Blundell, hashtag, my smell is in me.
My smell is in me. It's now in front of you. Gordie Johnson, Big Sugar. That will be on New Year's Eve, the 28th, in Alberta, in Edmonton, Alberta, as a matter of fact, December 31st. 9 p.m., 10:30, $39 tickets. You guys, I cannot wait. I really legitimately cannot wait. We've got a couple of shows. You just finished your tour. You're going to Winnipeg, and then you're doing Saskatoon, Calgary, and you're finishing off in Edmonton. BigSugar.com for more tickets. By the way, you still look like a fucking rock star too. Okay,
it's a pretty sexy poster, isn't it?
It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Apparently, I'm really good at Photoshop too.
By the way, there are a couple of, we took a look this morning. There are a couple of tickets left for that Edmonton show, but they've been going quickly. So if you wanted that New Year's Eve party at the River Cree, I would get on it now.
Yeah, all of the Western tickets are going fast. I think we kind of, as of about our Ottawa show last week, we sort of broke the internet. I'm still trying to keep up with all the stuff that gets sent to our social media stuff, because there's a little group of us that do it, and 3 people can't keep up with it. It's kind of insane.
Well,
glad you missed us.
That's what I wanted. Well, dude, of course. Like, I'm flying to fucking Edmonton to see you guys. Like, I'm really excited. Like, I'm physically excited. There's a couple of bands that I'm like, I gotta go. The Watchmen would be one of them. Big fan of Danny Greaves and the rest of the guys. They're also from Winnipeg crew. Yeah. Winnipeg is Music City Central, if you ask me. But I'm excited to come and see you guys, and because over the past, like, I would say 2 weeks, I've been seeing everybody talk about the shows and how much fun they are and how great you guys sound. And it was this proliferation of, my God, fuck, I guess these guys sound just as good, if not better, than they ever have. I can't wait to go see it. So there's this buzz around the return. I don't know if you want to call it that. Maybe you do, but the return of Big Sugar. Does it have you making you think down the road? Are you thinking that future plans for the band again?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is a return of Big Sugar. To me, I feel like it's just as potent as our return in 2012 when we came out with a new record and started kind of a new era. We went through most of a decade with a renewed interest and just a renewed, we were really creatively driven again to do it. Like I said, we would never want to become a nostalgia thing where we just play the hits and collect the paycheck and off we go. And this really feels the same way. We've got a whole new record written and would like to go in a studio and record that record. And I feel like there's a lot of music still to come out of us that we haven't done yet. So that's a really nice way to feel about your own band.
No kidding.
Yeah,
nice. I'm
for
excited
a fan
for that.
Yeah, for fans like us or myself, I can speak for myself. Lachlan's a huge fan as well. I know Ryan is. Makes me happy. It's like when something that used to make you happy comes back to make you happy again. I can't wait. And just hearing that you've got a new album ready to go and you want to get into the studio to record a new Big Sugar album. I mean, it's pretty fucking awesome, dude.
Hey, Ryan Lindley, hashtag the quiet one. How do you put up with these guys?
You can't get a word in edgewise.
You're so thoughtful, and you only speak when it's really, like when it's really meaningful. And
I'm not a radio guy by trade. That's why. So I know when to keep my mouth shut, and I just follow along, and I get to.
We're assholes.
I get to ride. I get to hang out and watch cool people show up here and just run some tech stuff.
And you got these guys on the second floor above you, just like.
Yeah, I'll be down here with Gordie. You guys keep talking, no problem. I'm hanging out with the dude.
Gordie, we'll let you get on with your day, but can't thank you enough for spending some time with us again today. Love the Big Lebowski shirt. Can't wait to come and see you guys at River Cree Casino the 31st. Still a few tickets left. Go to bigsugar.com for more details. Let's sell this thing out, and I cannot wait for a 70-minute show, intermission, 70-minute show. Really, really thankful that you guys are having us there too. So thanks so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, please reserve a square for me here at any time.
Anytime.
I love
always open.
Love the banter, love the rapport, the hijinks, the humor.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys are really
Say hi to the wife. Say hi to the beautiful wife, Gordie.
I will do that. I can see her right here. All right, fellas.
Right, talk to you
Take
soon.
care, man.
Thanks, man.
Go. Gordie Johnson, lead singer, Big Sugar. Can't wait. 31st. And a bunch of other dates. What were those other dates, too? Can we get those up there? So make sure we can sell some of those tickets. That'd be great. He's such a good person. Winnipeg,
So
27th. Cool. Saskatoon, 28th. Calgary, 29th. December 31st. Fucking low-key dude, isn't he? Low-key.
Isn't it always the way when you get somebody that's so in your face on a stage, just it's and then you talk to them, it's like, that's not the same guy, is it? And it's like,
well, he was pretty intense back in the day. He sort of alluded to it.
Yeah,
like he had an edge about him, and really, like, I don't know if you remember those first couple of records when he was touring on that Blue record and doing that. Like, he was like dressed the part, like very,
yeah,
snappy dresser and very poised, and yeah.
I didn't get a chance to crowbar it in, but I've seen that band probably at least 25 times. I used to work for a promoter, and we used to run all their security and medical, and Gordie and Big Sugar was one of the headliners that we always had. So it was it was so good to it was like when you luck out doing a job and you get like the good things, that was one of them was Big Sugar. Anytime I saw they were on the bill, we knew we were going to have a good weekend. So fantastic.
They bring a crowd out.
You know what I
really
love?
do.
I loved hearing him say, I make those kids aren't allowed to drink when we play. No one's allowed to. You fucking take this shit seriously. If you don't want to fucking take it seriously. Yeah. We want to be great at what we do. I don't want 85. I want 95. I want 100% from you guys. That is a professional musician. That's not a guy that's in it for the lifestyle. That's a guy that just fucking oozes his business, oozes his craft, oozes his gift. Fucking incredible to talk to a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so like calm and stoic. By the way, did you hear him mention stoicism? Probably he is into that too because he's a genius, like most people that study stoicism. But he's so calm. It's almost off-putting. Like it's almost like when you're sitting here talking to him, you're like, this guy knows something I don't. This guy knows something I don't. And I'm like, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this guy is so relaxed and so calm and so cool and so fucking collected. He's like legitimately the Paul Newman of Canadian music. Like he's fucking just the guy. Cool hand Luke.
The thing with Gordie too is as he has seen some things, right? Like if you know the history of the band and you know they've had their moments, right? He's had some shit he's had to deal with. So I think that you either deal with it and learn to process it, or you let it fucking kill you. And he hasn't let it, right? Mm-hmm. It's interesting to hear him talk. We had him on this morning on the locker room as well, and it was he's also self-aware too, right? Like he also understands his impact on other people, right? He made a comment about how hard it is to work with him, and so you know it's important to him, and he has his rules, and it's funny. Because he was always the kid in Big Sugar. All the players, he brought in all the, like, he was such a, like, his playing got so much attention that the best players came out, gravitated to him when he was a kid. So he had this band of just slayers, right?
Yeah.
That he was able to take on the road with him because that's the kind of energy and the kind of reputation he had as a player. Mm-hmm. So
if you haven't seen these guys, and if when you see them live, I don't think I've seen them 25 times, Lance. I've probably seen them 4 or 5. And when you see them live, because if you see, listen, if you go to a lot of live shows, a lot of concerts, you compare bands, right? But you know when you go to a show with a musician, right? Like Ian Thornley, same way. If you go to a big rec show, that is a musical extravaganza. It's not about him. It's not about rock and roll. It's about the music, and it's a production. It's this musical production where a guy like Ian Thornley will go through like a 7-minute fucking jam just because he fucking is in the music, right? It's not about him. And Big Sugar's the same way, Locke. That is the impression that I get from him and talking to the band and actually going and seeing these shows. They're in there. They're the mindfulness in the moment of what they're creating at that time is fucking second to none. He doesn't care about himself in that process. He just fucking loves playing music and is one of the greatest guitar players, greatest producers of music, greatest mixers of music in the world. Like, dude, people line up to work with him from all over the world to get them to produce their stuff, get their ears on his stuff. He's done
a lot of pretty cool records.
Low key Canadian like superstars. That's a superstar to the people that actually matter in that music. So if you get a chance to go to the show River Cree Casino, I highly, highly recommend it. It is real music. It's fucking loud too. Like I know he was like, it's not that loud. I'm not that loud anymore. Trust me, it'll be loud. Because my buddy said he felt nauseous leaving it. And he was like, it's the best rock show I've ever fucking seen. It's so glad they're back. It's so incredible. So,
that's awesome.
I'll see you on the 28th. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
That'll be a good day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I was just staring.
No, that'll be a good night.
I thought you were going to say something about Donald Trump's big announcement today.
Yeah.
You know what? What was it? Because we talked about the major announcement.
You ready?
What happened?
You ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
Did he declare himself supreme leader?
No. Way better than that. No, way better than that.
Is it?
Let me play the commercial that they put out. He's got his own NFT trading cards, friends. $99 a piece. What's that?
I said, is he gonna have a Bitcoin currency?
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
That's what I said this morning.
Yes. His timing's so great too, because this week we found out Bitcoin was a massive fucking Ponzi scheme and fucking funneled dark money to assholes around the world. This is incredible. Here you go. Donald Trump's big announcement. We'll play it for you.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
Jesus. The fucking balls on this guy.
With an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting. You can collect your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize, but it's what we have. Or golf with you and a group of your friends at one of my beautiful golf courses, and they are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a one-on-one meeting, autographing.
Come on.
That's real.
That almost looks like it could be fake.
45 digital trading cards guaranteed.
This is a joke.
I think it should be a ticket to attend a gala dinner with Trump in South Florida, plus get 45 entry sweepstakes, plus get 45 digital trading cards. So these are $4,500 if you want the set, and if you buy the set, you don't get a deal. Terms and conditions of official sweepstakes rules. And not only does he have himself dressed up like Superman, and he put it out himself. Look at this. He's like, major announcement. My official Donald Trump digital trading card collection is here. He's got a variety of poses, guys. He's got the one, the individual Zoom call, the one of him dressed like an astronaut. Then he's got one of where you can do another Zoom session with him. Yeah, not bad. Then you got the one where he looks like a football player, one where he looks like a race car driver, one where he looks like a boxer or a guy with the WWE. Then we've got the cowboy one, the what do you call this? The Brokeback Mountain Miami dinner with Donald Trump. Mar-a-Lago cocktail hour, one-on-one meeting. Enjoy an unforgettable private meeting. You can also play golf with you and your friends. Then there's this one where he's like, "It's just me standing here looking like I'm taking a shit in my suit."
He had a stroke. It's like he had a stroke.
Look at this shit. This is fucking unbelievable.
Oh my God.
I don't know who photoshopped these. Like, there's a couple things going on here. One, this is a grift. It is just another way for him to make money because he's going to go to fucking jail. Like, his whole family's going to go to fucking jail. And he's got like 38 lawsuits that are currently bearing down on him and his entire family and friends. So this is a way for him to raise as much money as possible in an untraceable manner. Right. So that's what this is. This is just another fucking grift. This is a theft of the dumbest people in the world. And the dumbest people in the world will go, that's my guy. And they're going to give him $99 for these non-fungible tokens. Now, are these real trading cards? Not really. They're digital trading cards. So they're nothing. And when he says NFT, it means that there's going to be a limit. But I put a phone call into a friend of mine. He's like, oh, there's no limit. He's just going to keep selling them and tell people to get them before they're gone, but they're never going to be gone, because the whole idea is, how do I steal as much untraceable money from fucking Americans and dumb Canadians?
That's what it is.
That's all this is.
It reminded me of a Snuggie commercial at 3 a.m. on fucking cable when you wake up and the TV's still on and somebody's like, get these, they're going out. We're going to sell out. This commercial's been running for 35 fucking years. Yeah. And they're about to, you better call now, because they're going to sell out.
Yeah, they're a Royal Canadian Mint commercial. Get these while they last. Well, you'll fucking make more if they sell out. This is just a fucking game, right?
Yeah.
That's all this is. That was his announcement. He's got digital trading cards. This is a 75-year-old man who shits himself, who's broke, who's going to jail, and he's selling trading cards of himself dressed up like a fucking superhero or dressed up like an astronaut, football player, race car driver. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life, and I don't know why, but I fucking love it. I think it's awesome.
I did miss him. I did miss him a bit.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know anything about NFTs. Like, I don't know a lot of that shit, but we need to get Scott to buy them. I'll pay for it. I'll give him the money. He's got to buy it. I want to see what happens when you buy these cards.
See if you can get that. See, here's the thing. I was thinking of the same thing. I called George,
Zoom
partner.
call?
I'm like, hey, can we donate $5,000 to like some Trump thing? And he's like, no. And I go, I want to see if I can get a Zoom call or a dinner with Donald Trump. And he's like, what are you talking about? So I told him about it. He goes, maybe. We'll talk about it in our next.
That's worth
meeting.
the investment if we can get him. We have somebody in our building that is very pro Trump, and
For real?
Human, like a male or female?
For I don't want to talk about it. But
male.
I went in and I asked the boss if I could put him on the air because I'm like, I just want to get him in here. Like, just sit across from me and let's do this. And the boss is like, no, it's probably not a good idea.
No, you can't do that.
No.
You know what? That commercial that we watched, right? I mean, fuck.
It doesn't look. You know what? It's funny because of the
Hello,
eyes.
everyone.
What's
the
that?
eyes this morning. I said as soon as I saw the eyes in the ad, like because he had the teaser thing, a major announcement thing. I watched it this morning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's doing Bitcoin. Of course he is.
That's what he's doing.
On the verge of the collapse of of digital currency as we know it. It makes sense for Donald Trump.
He's just here to put the fork in it now.
Yeah. If that's not a sign that it is completely done.
You know what?
I don't know what is.
This is almost
Stop
as cool
investing in
as me
Bitcoin.
coming up with a major announcement that I'm selling for a limited time VCRs. That's literally the same fucking timing, the same terrible entrepreneurial timing. This is Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka. If you ever thought for a second this was a serious person, are you fucking kidding me? Watch this.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
About my little buddy, James P. White?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So one day,
Give us
we
some
were
story
talking
music, right?
about
Sure.
Give us some nice story music.
we were talking about scams.
Yeah.
Right? We were talking about things that you watched on TV or I don't know, a buddy talked you into, and we were going to the phones and people were telling stories. And I could tell that Jimmy was sitting on something. Like, and he's done everything. He's done the financial stuff. He's done liquids. He's done magic soaps. He's been sucked into it all over the years. He's just that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy. He's the first call because everyone knows he can't say no. So he had all these friends that would get into this, these multi-level marketing things. And I'd say we're about 30 minutes into this conversation on the show about it. And I can't remember what triggered it, but it was something, somebody we knew got sucked into something and we knew it was a scam.
Yeah.
So we were basically talking about it, right, on the show. Jimmy announces that years ago, he signed up for Trump University. Swear to God.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Didn't you guys give away his Trump University books or
Yes.
something? Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember this.
So he brought them
signed
in.
What? Like he paid
Yeah.
for Trump University?
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
How much?
It was a couple of grand.
Oh,
So,
my God.
I said to him, you have to bring me, because he keeps everything.
Yeah.
I said, you have to bring me what did you get? And he goes, I don't know, I'll dig it up. So the next morning he brought it in. And it was a binder, and you can't even fucking make this up. So it was a binder, a 3-ring binder and everything in it was photocopied, like badly. And it looked like somebody had just gone to Pinko's and like hit print on something on a PDF. And then there was a package of 6 DVDs, and they were fucking literally burnt CDs. I still have it. We kept it because when we tried to give it away, when we tried to give away Jimmy's shit, no one came and picked it up.
When you say burnt CDs, listen, there's a whole generation of people who have no idea what you're talking about. Burned CDs, not burnt, burned, are CDs that you recorded into, like generic. You get them for like $1, and then you can burn something onto a DVD. It's like a generic DVD, no label, no nothing, super cheap. So it was like a PDF that was photocopied from Kinko's and a couple burned DVDs.
Yep. And he chewed on $3,000, and we were like, dude, you should sue him because everyone sued him and got all their money back. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, you should. And he wouldn't do it.
He's such a mark, that little guy.
Yeah, he is.
Fucking unbelievable.
No,
I'll tell you a good story about Jimmy. I just literally, because we shit on Jimmy a lot, I had this long DM from this guy on Twitter, and he started watching this show, and he's in Edmonton and doesn't really he's listened to the Locker Room, but he's kind of got introduced to the show through this, to the Locker Room through this, right? But he knows of us because he lives here.
Yeah.
And somebody put that clip out of the Jimmy telling his cilantro story.
Yeah.
Who put that out?
Brad, a friend of ours, a friend of the show, Brad Seftel, I believe his name is.
He saw that and he sent me this long story about he had a really hard time a couple years ago, and his wife left him, and he was really fucking down on himself, and it was very detailed story. I just finished reading just before we got on, and he goes, I just wanted to tell you about meeting James. He said, I was so depressed, and all I wanted to do was just drink. So I went to a bar that I knew was open, but I knew there wouldn't be many people there. He goes, I went to Blues on White because that bar generally isn't that busy unless there's live music there. So he just sort of sat down at a table by himself and ordered a drink. He said, James came in by himself and just sort of wandered up to the table and sat down and introduced himself and said, hey, can I buy you a drink? And the two of them just hung out. And he goes, this little fucker cheered me up, had no idea what I was going through, but just saw that I might have needed some company, came over and we just sat there and got shit-faced on a Tuesday.
Wow.
That's Jimmy. If you... He's the guy who would just wander into a fucking bar and he'll end up at your table. He's also the guy to sign up for fucking Trump University. I'm like, that's Jimmy.
How many MLMs has he been involved in?
Like 7, like 6 or 7. He had a list.
We were talking to him. He's like, he was into Arbonne for a while. He was into Amway. He was into a bunch of different stuff, and then he started getting into the Tony Robbins shit. Where I was like, does that work? He goes, no. I'm like, okay.
The one that he's still angry about is some life insurance thing or something. World Finance or something. He got winged into that one.
Scam City, dude. So many scams. There's so many. You get fucked everywhere you go now. And Jimmy's just such a nice person. He's like, that sounds good. I'd like my life to be better. Maybe this might work, right?
Yep.
There's so
I don't
many.
know how
eternal optimist.
Yeah.
I found out that he told me shortly after coming from the Bear. We moved over, and long story, he was at the Bear for about a year before 8 months or something like that before I brought him over to cruise after I left the Bear. And during that time, and it was about a year into the show, year and a half, maybe even longer, here at Cruise, that he divulged to me that he got sucked into a gym membership. And Jimmy's not a workout guy. So
No.
$30 a month was coming off of his credit card every month. And so I'm like, oh Jesus, haven't you tried to cancel it? He goes, every time I try to cancel it, they just renew me for another year.
What do you mean? All he has to do is say, I don't want it.
And go,
Yeah, no kidding.
It would be a woman, and she would like.
Would they be talking him into it? Oh, it was a woman.
Oh, it's a
It
woman.
was a woman.
Yeah.
She talked him back into it.
So I'm like, all right, I'll get you out of it. And he had tried like 2 or 3 times to cancel, and every time he just got another 6 months tagged onto it. And I said, I'll get you out. It'll take me 3 minutes. And we boop 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 doodle boop boop boop. Hi, so and so. This is James P. White's father. And I'm like, get him off. And literally like that, they were just like, I see. You just have to present yourself in such a way that they know, because they're trained to hear whether or not they can fuck you.
Yeah,
they can feel it. They can feel that energy coming through the phone. They know that's what they do.
Yeah,
and some
that's
guys
true.
are so good at it. It's not even funny.
Well, plus Jimmy doesn't listen to anybody unless they're female, so any woman could screw him out of everything. His entire, like, it doesn't matter who it is, right? As long as there's an opportunity to talk to a female, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. She's like, give me your right arm. All right,
Ding.
get a saw.
Yep.
I got another one.
Yeah, I got another arm. I can wipe my ass with that one. Hang on a second. I think we've got a surprise guest here, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
I think we do.
You're
I
right.
think we do. Chris Krangle is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Merry Christmas.
Rookie. Chris
Daddy.
Rook. New father.
Daddy.
You got to turn your audio on there, fella. There we go. There you go. I got you.
Hi there.
Hi, nice to
It's
see
been
you.
a
How
while.
are you?
Sorry.
Yeah,
Gotta get
it
up
has.
the cobweb here.
Congratulations. The last time we talked, you didn't have a child. About a
Correct.
month ago, you did have a child. Your wife had a child. Their first. Congratulations, you're a father. Way
Once
to go.
again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Happy
very
to
welcome.
be here.
Yeah. How's it going? How's the new
It's
family?
going great.
Yeah.
It's going awesome. Yeah. It's obviously an adjustment, but it's going really, really good. There's been some days that are trying. You lose some sleep here and there, but all things considered, it's great.
Well, I do have
Awesome.
a bone to pick with your wife.
My life
Sure.
didn't change at all.
No.
Ours got harder when you left.
Yeah. Which is the point, is that your wife made you take a 2-week break, right?
It's 3
From-
weeks.
3-week break from work. 3 weeks. 3-week break. I didn't appreciate you enough before you left. But I also wasn't as angry as I was at your wife as I am now, because I had to do so much more work than I normally do. And not to complain, but I didn't realize how useless I was. And I also didn't realize that your wife wasn't aware of how important this is. And so I'm going to have a chat with her, because that
Absolutely.
3 weeks almost killed me. No word of a
Priorities.
lie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
When you
I was
renew your
watching from
vows, are you going to take her last name?
I'm going to get Dean to
Dude, she didn't let him do anything for 3 weeks. I get a note from some of the guys we were working with. Hey, I need this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, we're fucked. I would just say, well, we're fucked. Because it's Lindsay's. And they're like, well, I need this. I'm like, well, fucking call Lindsay.
Yeah.
Call Lindsay and get her to do it. And they're like, I'm not calling her. Like, fuck. Well, then don't ask me to do it. But like, literally, she ruined my life for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Just a
I-
fucking kid.
Yeah.
I
Like
can't.
I was saying to Dean, as I was watching the house burn down, I just couldn't take the watering bucket and put the fire out.
Oh, it
So I
sucks
was-
so much ass.
I was standing on the sidelines with the clipboard as the backup quarterback with the headset, just standing there trying to be like, well, maybe I'll get back in there soon.
Yeah, and I'm not being selfish when I say that the birth of your
No,
child
it
was
doesn't sound
inconvenient
like
for
it
me.
at all.
I think that's a fair thing. I think that's a fair,
I think it's
fair
fair.
emotion. It's a
Yeah.
fair
I
emotion.
think it's
Yeah.
fair.
Does she know that I'm not happy with her?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Probably
Well, she
should
does
maybe.
now.
Shouldn't be
Maybe.
a common conversation. Like I wouldn't bring that up.
I'd love to. Dean and
Make
her
sure you-
relationship is great. He can be as honest as he likes with her. He'll tell her straight up. was not happy with that break.
I wasn't happy with the 3 weeks you made your husband take off for the birth of your first child. I was not pleased.
Very, very selfish.
Can we talk?
Not a big.
Well, can I straight up talk though? This is the truth. So he calls me about a week and a half into this, and he goes, "I'm going crazy." I go, "What do you mean you're going crazy?"
Yeah, this seemed way too nice.
He's like, "I can't do anything. I'm not allowed to do anything. If I open my computer, my wife looks at me and says, "Fucking shut that computer." And I'm like, "That's fucking rude," is what that is. Yeah. So he calls me, and then after two weeks, so like another 4 days later, he's like, I wrote an article, but don't tell my wife.
That was my favorite. I was bringing it up. Was like he acted literally incognito. I can't remember it was a big issue, and he wanted to write about it. He's like, "Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody."
I did some work. I remember you telling us you wrote it in the shitter.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it was the Tim Hortons bagel.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
It was a shitty Timmy's bagel. And the thing was, I wrote the article in secret while they were both sleeping, published it, shut my computer for 24 hours. Then came back, and it was like an all-out brawl on Twitter about Tim Hortons bagels.
Yeah, it went viral.
I was like, what have I done?
Well, I want to ask you the same question about your latest post, because you put this one up today. And by the way, just in case anybody doesn't know, you posted an article on porn, and I'm like, thank God he's back.
Yep,
he's back.
He's back.
Year in review of the top porn sites. PornHub released its 2022 year in review. Countries that watch the most porn, and this was a no-brainer, right? United States, United Kingdom, France, Japan, Mexico, Italy, Germany. Canada's pretty freaky. I would have put us behind the Philippines, for sure behind Brazil.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan. I would put us way in front of Japan. Japan, they are fucking dirty. Japan, and we know Americans are filthy. But
those
this
squares
was amazing.
All the way down in Belgium.
Top 20 countries, they give Pornhub 79.3% of their traffic. This is fucking awesome. And Canada's like, we didn't watch as much porn as we did last year, but we're ahead of the Philippines, Brazil, Poland, Netherlands, Australia, Ukraine. Well, they're busy. Yeah. Argentina, again, they should be higher. It's a Southern American country. Colombia, same thing. Egypt, I didn't even think porn was allowed in Egypt. I thought so they're doing it on the sly. And Belgium, boring ass people in Belgium.
No kidding.
Yeah, but what I've also found very interesting were the top searches on Pornhub this last year. Locke, you'll like this too. Number one for the first time ever was real porn, not the lumberjack showing up at a gas station with a gas female attendant accidentally bends over to pick up pizza guy or like a plumber. I found this fascinating. Reality category grew by 169%, with real homemade searches growing by 179% worldwide and 300% in the United States.
That's OnlyFans.
Oh, that could
be.
That's
OnlyFans influence.
Like that's the OnlyFans influence, you mean?
Like a phenomenon? Yeah.
Because that's where all the porn actresses have gone, right? Because they can actually make money on that. So anyway.
Yeah. The number 2 was the one that actually, this one intrigues me. This is my favorite because people always, complain and these trans people are changing our entire world. They're trying to groom our kids. And all of a sudden, number 2 on the searches that define 2022 is transgender category grows by 75%.
Right. Inclusive.
Holy shit.
Became the 7th most popular worldwide, and it is number 1 in Brazil.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Those Brazilians. Group sex, Locke, you'll be happy, was number 3. That's your number 1. I know that.
This is a go-to for me. Threesomes.
Yeah. Threesome category grew by 34% to become the 4th most popular worldwide.
I'm not a big orgy guy.
Gain
if there's
for orgy.
If there's too many limbs and body parts, I'm like, it's distracting. I don't need 15 people. And the whole stand around her. Like, what are you doing? Like,
what's the cutoff for people in group sex porn that you like to watch? Like 3, 4?
I might go 4.
6 too many.
Yeah.
6 is pushing it.
Yeah. 5.
Yeah.
And the bukkake thing, which I never knew about until this podcast.
Christ.
That is bothersome. I can't watch that. Like it seems it's so aggressive.
Last time that we said that word, I had to blank it out on the back end. So,
oh really?
Cocky? What, are we not allowed to say that word?
You're the one that made me do it.
Oh well, I'm okay now. I don't mind.
It was a promo, and you're like, I don't know if that's.
I was a little touchy on the subject.
Just beep it out. Just beep it out.
Would Bukkake videos fall in the group sex category? I think they would.
Yes, well, there's especially when there's 15 of them.
Yeah. Outdoor category. This one shocked me. The outdoor category on PornHub grew by 121%. To join the top 10 worldwide. Travel searches grew 32%, and camping.
You know what this one is, Locke? This one is like voyeurism, like people looking to get caught.
Yeah. I remember saying something similar to that, to the statement that he just made. I don't understand the outdoor thing. And we had a guy call, and he said that his wife gets randy and wants to go outside, like on a balcony or
Randy
at a picnic. I think his name was Randy too, ironically. I'm not even kidding. But and it was all about her, because I'm like, you, I said, how lucky are you? You found this really experimental, lass to spend your life with, and she's created and you get to live out your fantasies. And he goes, it's not me. Airwalk. Yeah, he was a newfie. He goes, it's her. She gets all Tarzan and Jane on me and wants to go outside swinging from the branches. And I'm like, holy shit. He's like, yeah. He goes, she will go out and she will make him have sex in public places. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
What, with people watching, or is it just the idea that people might be able to see them, or they might get caught? Is that the excitement?
Yeah, might get caught. That's the exciting part.
Yeah, he was explaining that, yes, they don't get caught ever, but she likes to present these opportunities and will encourage him to, like, on a road trip, pull over and, like, boink in the public bathroom of a pullout, right? Or whatever, right? I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And I can't even get a hand job from my wife in the car on a road trip.
You're already a terrible driver as it is.
Have you asked?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, have you really been on a road trip with a wife where you're like, why don't you just give me a quick hand job over here? Yeah. What does she say? No, not interested. Yeah, because you're fucking driving.
We're 0 for 100 or whatever.
She said, "Look, that's impossible. I'm the one that's driving."
I've been trying for years too, Locke. I'm with you.
Yeah.
She keeps telling me that the Toronto Transit Commission will get upset, but whatever. I don't know.
Well, they won't. Outdoors is number 4. Number 5 positions. This is interesting. Scissoring grew by 96% worldwide. 151% increase in the United States. Positions like, quote, Amazon, 69, and cowgirl also increased. Scissoring, that's fascinating.
That's a total porn thing.
Yeah.
Right? I think I'm not
females.
sure.
Like, it's just females that do that, right? Like,
yeah. But we had, and maybe this was just specific to them, but we talked about scissoring on the show a couple years ago as well.
Yeah, you did.
And we had because I was asking about, like, it looks awkward. I mean, it just, like, how do you get to that point in that conversation where you're like, and we had a lesbian who is a big fan of the show call up, and she's like, that's a porn thing. She's like, I've been a lesbian for years. I've been in multiple encounters sexually, and never once has anybody ever wanted me to scissor them. So she just completely destroyed that search for me.
I'm gonna take that one out of context.
Out of the Rolodex with the scissors.
No one's ever asked me to scissor them.
Happy holidays from Lachlan Cross.
Favorite porn stars. PornHub released the most searched porn stars as well. I'm going to plead the fifth on most of these people. I have no idea who these women are. But number 1 was Abella Danger. Never heard of her?
Neither.
No? Lana Rhodes?
She's dark-haired.
Okay, so you know who
Lana
this is?
Rhodes? You don't know who Lana Rhodes is?
No.
She's got a little heart on her ass.
Oh, sure.
She's got a wee heart on her ass.
Angela White knows porn stars by their birthmarks and their tattoos. She's like, oh yeah, she's got a mole 2 inches off the center of her cheek, dark hair. She's about 5'1", 110 pounds.
He IDs him like CSIS.
Angela White. Everyone knows Angela White. She's like the Barbara Streisand of porn. She's from Australia. She's got the big giant fakies.
Never heard of her.
Never
in my life.
Me neither.
Come on.
Eva Elfie, never heard of. Riley
heard of that
Reid,
one.
Never heard of.
Riley's a young. She's a lot. She looks really young, and she's
a
quite
goer.
thin.
Okay. Emily Willis. No. See now, here's where this is where it gets interesting. This is cool.
Yeah.
This woman is like, she's like the unicorn of porn. Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa did like 4 porns.
Yeah.
I believe Lebanese, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember where she's from.
Persian. Maybe she's from Iran.
I don't know.
Somebody Google it.
She did 4 porns in her whole life. 4 of them.
Not sure doing that.
She's the one with the glasses.
I'm not putting that in my search history.
She's got glasses.
I'm a dad now.
Yeah.
I
swear it was for research, honey.
But she hasn't done porn for like over 10 years, and she's still the most, like the 6th or 7th most Googled porn star on PornHub.
Well, I think it's she tried to sue. Power. She tried to sue Vivid or whoever owned the porn to get her off. And get her off. He tried to sue to get it, and that hit the papers, and that made it even worse. I think that exploded her popularity again. It did the exact opposite of what she wanted. So
she just recently sold those glasses for charity, like the glasses she wore when she did porn.
Yeah,
and she made a bunch of money for some cause that was close to her heart. She's gotten fairly political.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, she does a ton of sports stuff too. She's really pivoted from like, doing that to being a legitimate influencer and content person. She's great. I don't know who Mia Malkova is. Jordi El Nino Pola. No idea.
Who Mia is.
She's like, I know who that is. Violet Myers. Johnny Sins. I'm assuming that's a man. Is that correct?
Yes.
Johnny Sins.
I think Johnny's the one with the hook.
Oh,
he's the one. He's the one that all like at the sporting events. There was an NFL game this year where someone was like,
he's got a bend in it.
Got the hook.
Can I just
never understood why women would like that. Wouldn't it be awkward? Like if it's got a real good twist on her, like do you want that upside you? I don't.
Was Lachlan just going through all this porn stuff? It's like he's doing
vagina,
color commentary for porn.
I was just gonna say,
Chris, what were you gonna say when Lachlan went with the bent wiener theory? Go ahead.
He's like people use him as like a meme troll. So there was like a Rams game this year where they were doing like a salute to service, and somebody put up a picture of Johnny Sins in a military outfit and was like, I served for this long and did this, and they put it on the Jumbotron, and we're like, everybody was like, thank you to Officer like Hardwood or something.
Hardwood.
Like Officer Hardwood, and then everybody was doing the standing ovation in the arena.
Are you serious? Like, I remember that. Yeah. I got to get that picture. That was fucking awesome. Where they're like, salute the service, salute. Hang on a second.
Yeah, it was real.
God. This is it. It was at a Vikings game.
Vikings game, yeah.
I love people, man. This is what I like. When people fuck stuff up on purpose like this, I'm like, I love humanity. Like I really, really do. Let me get this for you. This is Johnny Sins. And someone decided to play a prank on the
service.
Someone decided to play a prank on the Minnesota Vikings when they're doing their salute to service. And they're like, Johnny Sins was dressed up like a military guy in a former porn that he did. So they apparently just took. Oh yeah, here it is. This is
just a screenshot of him. I think. Yeah.
Incredible.
See, this is fucking unbelievable.
I haven't seen this.
Like Vikings. This is my cousin Joel, who served in the army. He's always been an inspiration, someone I look up to for his heroism. He's also a huge Vikes fan. Skull salute, and then they put him on the fucking Jumbotron. It's him from the cover of a porn where he was pretending to be a U.S. Army guy who went in and just railed a bunch of U.S. Army chicks.
They even tipped their hat by saying huge Vikings fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the only name I recognize on this list is Brandy Love. She's still one of the, like, if there's something in my Twitter feed, it's like, hey, Brandy Love does this, I'm like, I'll watch it. I don't know why. It's maybe it's because
you had a connection, right?
Well, I met her, I interviewed her, and we did a contest where we set like one couple up to go and have a 4-way with Brandy Love and her husband at Oasis Lounge here in Toronto. And Brandy Love came in, and I was like floored by how hot she was, and it was really funny because she's like, "You should come down too, honey, because I'll do you." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I never went. And then we interviewed the guy that ended up giving it to her after.
You were sitting, like, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't get up for probably
entire
3
interview.
hours, dude. Yeah. I think I was wearing like loose pants too. So I was like, "There's no way
that
I'm
day."
up.
Dean did middays too.
Yeah, that's right. He stayed for the afternoon drive.
I didn't leave the station for 6 hours because I was 29 when that happened. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, that was the only name that I knew was Brandy Love.
Sorry, you finished that story though. You said the guy you called
Adriana Chenick. You don't know Adriana Chenick? Come on.
No, never heard of her.
Never heard of her.
Autumn Falls.
Oh my god.
Skylar Vox. Never heard of any of these people. Sarah J. I've heard of because I think she's pretty old. I think she's an older porn star.
Luna Star.
I just would like to mention too, just as you were running through the list of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think about it, but it was like Lachlan was like Troy Aikman on Monday Night Football doing the color as you were just running through the people. So like, well, here's Mia Malkova. Well, you know, Dean, she's got a heart on her ass.
I have had a very healthy masturbation routine for a lot of years.
Yeah,
and I use porn, and a lot of these names show up on a fairly regular basis. I feel like I know them.
It was incredible.
Here's Johnny
Sims. Went into the in-depth. Hi, Johnny Sims.
Johnny Sims, 6-inch hook left side, huge balls. I know him.
Let's check the tape.
He's got an appendectomy scar about yay big. Blood type is O positive. Is that correct?
I hate it when they have scars. I hate seeing scars.
He does the John Madden with the yellow.
Yeah.
Things circling with the X's and O's.
I was laughing too because one of the categories, top 10, the number 6 that didn't make that list after you sent it, I was looking it up, was MILF porn or mature.
Huge in
mature.
Canada.
Massive.
Mature.
It is
We're also
massive.
big into hentai porn in Canada for some.
Oh, when you tie people up?
No, that's the cartoons, like the Japanese cartoons.
So I will mention that last year
creepy.
when we released this list, hentai was number 4.
And it's gone
because
up
people
number 2.
wised up. That's because people are like, my God, this is a cartoon. I feel like a fucking loser. That's why.
No, it huge
it went. Oh, it went down.
Yeah, it went down. Yeah.
But
I
number
don't need
6
a
was
lot. I don't need a lot of encouragement to yank one, but I'm going to find it very, very difficult to do it to a cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Unless it's the Flintstones. Then I'm
or SpongeBob.
I love running stats with you guys. I love running numbers with the group.
As you should. But this MILF category that finished at number 6, interesting because there's this new series coming out on TLC. It's called MILF Manor. Have you heard of this? MILF Manor, where they send 8 women from the ages of 40 to 65 to a mansion in Mexico where there are 8 guys that are no older than 25.
No way.
Older. And
who came up with this? Brilliant.
I don't know, some pervert. I kind of like
it's
the idea.
TLC show too.
Yeah,
like, I'm just reading that.
It's
from
the
TLC.
Learning Channel. We're learning about MILFs. Remember when they used to do brain surgery on TV?
Yep.
Remember that? It's like, oh, I'm going to watch open heart surgery on TLC. Learn something.
Yeah.
It's like they've really pivoted away from like educational stuff to like this isn't a Learning Channel anymore. It's just we're just putting hot old chicks on here that have no
plastic
open
surgery
life.
and 1,000-pound sisters now.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, here's the promo for MILF Manor. By the way, I don't find this disrespectful at all. Just so everybody knows.
Life has given me some curveballs. I think it's my time to find love.
I was married for 14 years. I want to get a chance to do me a little.
Young men have much more energy. They think out of the box. I want that.
Especially in the bedroom.
Especially in the bedroom. Now, MILF Manor isn't Genius Manor. It's called MILF Manor for a reason.
I am in this amazing, beautiful mansion here in Mexico. This is a perfect place to find love. Welcome to the villa. You're about to embark on a dating experience like none other. Let's go!
I have an extremely high libido. Is that too much saying I have an extremely high libido? Should I just have said high libido?
Ladies, where's all the men at?
I'm ready to connect with somebody who doesn't really care how old I am.
I'm just looking to have fun.
Here we go.
What the hell?
It just got real.
I'm in.
Huh?
I'm in.
Huh? What's the twist, you ask? I think some of those young men are related to those women.
Yep. I think it's kids. I think it's the sons or something.
Just to make
If I've learned anything from the internet, it's their stepsons.
Number 7 in the search porn category.
Or like
I don't get.
An ex-boyfriend's
I don't
kid.
understand why that's going to get you off watching
Stepmom porn? Yeah, no,
I don't. I've never understood. Never understood the. Yeah.
Here's the premise of the show.
Don't yell "daddy" in the middle of something either.
Please.
It's just,
TLC's newest reality endeavor, MILF Manor, follows home 8 moms and their thirsty desire for younger men. Thirsty. People exclusively shared the trailer for TLC's reality MILF Manor, which revolves around 8 confident, strong-minded women who leave home for the chance to find love. Leave their other kids at home, by the way, to go find love. These women want a younger flame to spice up their lives. With one love-seeking cast member in the show stating young men have more energy. I think they think outside the box. I think they want to. She says, I want that. Another woman explains her reason for joining the show. I was married for 14 years. I wanted a little chance to do me a little. MILFs range in age from 40 to 60, 59-year-old fitness instructor from LA, another competitive 47-year-old fitness studio owner from Mexico, currently living in Miami, and spontaneous 50-year-old disco mommy from Orange County. Premieres January 15th at 10 p.m. I'll watch this. I will.
I'm 100% watching this.
Not only am I going to watch it, I'm going to do a review after every episode. You know how they do on The Bachelor or this new show, White Lotus?
Damn it, I'm going to have to watch it.
Oh, we have to. This is a community fucking effort. Nobody is getting away from this show without watching every episode of MILF Manor. You know why? Because I was going to watch Fuckboy Island, and they canceled that last week. So I'm like, now I got to watch MILF Manor.
Yeah,
that's where the fuckboys went.
Yeah,
and they may be related to those moms. And who doesn't want to see a little incest on primetime television?
Not me. I like
30 Rock actually predicted this show.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
25 super hot moms, 50 eighth grade boys. Huh? We're watching that show together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I might have already known about it for a really long time. Might be on the list.
You going?
Things to watch.
Oh, I thought you were on the list to go.
I'm headed there. Yeah.
They should do this for men too. They should do a really creepy version of this with guys. Where it's like,
remember that show?
It would never work. The double standard in society. This would never work the other way. Like a sugar daddy show where you put like 8 incredibly hot 25-year-old women on an island with like a whole bunch of old, disgusting,
old
rich dudes with man
saggy
tits.
balls.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't fly. That would be like pervert central. You'd have fucking an outcry from the woke mob going, this is objectification. But no, they can do it to young men.
You'll get a bit of that. You'll get that on this.
With the sugar daddy show, if you do a twist that the winner gets, like if they fall in love, the winner gets the fortune. Then we have a show.
Yeah.
You're really overthinking this.
There's people will find anything to complain about.
He's pitching it next week.
Manor will get complaints. There was a CRTC. Did you see the recent CRTC complaint about Happy Days?
No.
Happy Days.
Racist. Yes. Monday, Tuesday, Happy Days.
Yeah.
Somebody actually took the time to write a CRTC complaint, CBSC complaint about Happy Days.
What year is it?
I was like, you got to be. fucking kidding
What
me?
year is this?
Happy Days, and they ruled against the complaint, saying that a show, that was on the air 50 years ago shouldn't be held responsible for today's norms, right?
How fucking sad and boring is your goddamn life when
Really?
you're writing
Thank you.
fucking letters to the
Thank
government about a television show?
The worst.
Regardless.
Thank you.
Yeah. Especially a fucking 60-year-old television show or 50-year-old television show. It's the same thing with the fucking statues. Now, listen, I know a lot of people get upset by the whole statue thing where you get for or against it. Oh, that statue went up. That guy was an asshole like 200 years ago. Let's take the fucking statue down and all that stuff. But we live in a society where people live to complain. I got a complaint yesterday from someone who advised my boss to fire me. No word of a lie. You got to fire him. You know why? Because we put out a video of a fat kid eating a piece of chicken. That was hilarious. And they're like, that's objectifying fat kids. I'm like, shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
No kidding.
And when you talk about that, going back into it, Locke, when you say the woke mob or you make fun of woke people, that's what you're talking about. And I hate the fact that people co-opt it, but the world is full of pussies, and pussies are on both sides of the equation. If you're a pussy, you complain about things you can't change. Like fucking Happy Days. 50-year-old show with Henry Winkler as the Fonz.
I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I saw that today. We got a complaint.
picking on
Did
the
you hear
Fonz?
Did you hear the locker room this morning, Linz?
No, actually, I missed today.
Okay. Well, we tweeted. I tweeted it out. You can go listen to it. Grant. Every once in a while, like once
his
a month,
rant report I did hit. Yeah.
Oh, you did hit that?
Yeah.
He strokes it out of the park. I guess
So
Danielle
good.
Smith created something in Edmonton, didn't tell the mayor, and the mayor was complaining about it. And we got a complaint about that. That we were, you know what it was? Because he made one comment about one of the counselors was gonna pass into law as soon as he made it to the ledge on a bike. And this woman was like mad at us for making fun of people who ride bikes. I'm like,
Oh, Jesus
no, we
Christ.
weren't, ma'am, making fun of people who ride bikes. You can't win. I mean, it's daily. It's constant. The Happy Days thing, though, the CBSE complaint on that, I just like unbelievable.
If you're listening to this right now and you have ever had that feeling inside to take the energy out of your day to go and make a phone call or write a letter about something somebody on the radio or TV said, take that same energy, walk outside and stand in front of a bus, because there's nothing left for you. There's nothing fucking left for you on this earth. Yeah, take that right outside into the path of a fucking speeding train, because you have given up on joy of anything. You don't enjoy anything. Nobody loves you. Like nobody. Your kids don't talk to you. Your fucking husband left you fucking 10 years ago. You're a sad, lonely, miserable piece of shit that'll never change. So just end it. Just go. Just do us all a favor and go. Sorry.
I had a friend who was a huge Habs fan. Every week, Don Cherry used to make some slant every couple of weeks. He used to make a slant about the Montreal Canadiens. He literally would stay up all night after hockey night in Canada, writing complaint letters to the CBC.
Oh,
he wrote probably 30 of them.
What
I'm
a
like,
fucking loser.
You have to let it go. That's how big a fan he was, and that's how delusional he was.
Fucking
Full disclosure, I don't even know how to write a letter or send one.
Good.
All right,
there are people out there that live for it, though. Yeah.
I have to go, Dean. I'm sorry.
So do
man.
I got to pee. I gotta go. Thanks, Lachlan Cross, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton, at Lachlan Cross on Twitter, at Ryan Lindley on Twitter, the Linz Report. Subscribe to his podcast. That's my friend Chris Krangle. Don't worry about subscribing to anything he does. Just look for his stuff, including the porn wrap up, the year in review porn wrap up at DeanBlundell.com. Very well written, by the way. Great to see you guys. Really appreciate you being here.
See you, man.
And we'll chat with you tomorrow. You betcha. Ryan, Chris, Lachlan, Thanks to Gordie Johnson from Big Sugar for stopping by. BigSugar.com for more details about where they're going to be on the 27th, 28th, 29th, 31st. As they swing through Western Canada. If you're looking for tickets, we'll see you in Edmonton at River Cree Casino. Go to BigSugar.com for more information as well. That's it for us. Have a great day. Thanks so much. We want to thank our partners and friends over at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. If you're looking for a vehicle, can't get financing, this is your crew. Go to easyautofinancial.ca for more details. Ed at Ed's Fine Imports. We have his Gitch. We wear his Gitch, luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs made in Canada. You can buy them too and get a free pair when you order Gitch3, promo code Gitch, the number 3. That is your promo code at edsfineimports.com. Boxer briefs, luxurious boxer briefs, pouch to the front. Cannot miss with these underwear. I guarantee you will love them. Go to edsfineimports.com. Also, thanks to Colin and his crew over at cantork.com. Edmonton's superstars when it comes to putting together Canada's assembly tool experts. At Cantork, they make rugged, hardworking, beautiful torque wrenches, Canada's leading industrial tool experts. They offer you the very best in sales service, rental, calibration, maintenance, custom fabrication of industrial torque tools. No matter the scale of your bolting, loosening, or fastening project, Colin and his team at Cantork.com have your solution. Go to Cantork.com for more information today. And, of course, our friend Rob Kivlikin and his group of defense attorneys at kivlaw.ca, Southern Ontario's best. If you're up against it, you need a legal hand. I've referred 3 people to him this week. Listen, I trust nobody, and I trust this guy with my money, my life, and my everything that I have. And I'm telling you right now, this guy will take care of you. So kivlaw.ca, Robert at kivlaw.ca is his email address. Any legal issue you're up against, if you need a consultation, you need to give someone a retainer so they can fight for you on your behalf to keep you free and make you the person that you need to be so you can go through life without this legal shit hanging over your head. That's my friend Rob at his group at kivlaw.ca. Robert at kivlaw.ca. Send him an email today. That's it for us. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, which will be Friday. And my friend Nate Pike from the Breakdown, Alberta, will join us. Talk about Danielle Smith, trying to tell everybody, hey, listen, I know how bad the Indigenous people have had it. I'm a white woman from a privileged background who owns restaurants, and I'm the premier who takes a fucking limo everywhere. Of course I know what it's like to be Indigenous, because I lie about being Indigenous as well. Anyway, we'll take a strip off her, talk about a beautiful province of Alberta with Nate Pike from The Breakdown tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.